America has in the world has never been lower than it is right now.
The world is unraveling. That the order that existed is being challenged like never before.
I believe I'll be the best at the military that we've had in many, many, many years in this country.
We have to defeat ISIS. They have declared war on us.
We need to stand with all of the men and women of our military.
It is essential for a strong America to make sure that our allies know that we have their back.
We want to strengthen our military, but unless we have a president committed to it, it won't matter.
Now, those were some of the 2016 candidates, each laying out why he or she would be the best commander-in-chief. But with growing fears of terror and numerous other threats facing our nation, how do you tell who really could be the best one to keep the nation safe? What should a voter look for? Former Secretary of Defense Donald Rumsfeld is here to go on the record. Good evening, Mr. Secretary.
Greetings. Good to be with you.
Okay, I don't think any of these candidates ever served in the military. Not that that matters necessarily, but, I mean, how do you tell if someone, you know, what criteria would you look for? I mean, to know who would keep us safe.
Well, the way our system works, the only thing we can do is to watch them run around the track, be challenged, compete with their party, and then compete with the other party, listen to how they answer questions from the press and from each other, measure them, test them, weigh their judgment, and hope for the best.
Well, it's sort of interesting. I mean, even now the discussion today, whether it be a reduction in the number of active military to 450,000, or whether it be more or less or anything, I'm thinking, like, how do I even know if that's a good thing or not? I'm just a voter. I mean, what do I know about that?
Well, one of the key things is what kind of people would they likely select to be around them, to give them advice. No one who goes into the office of the presidency has all 360 degrees of capability and knowledge that he's going to need, he or she are going to need in that job. It's a tough job, and it's an enormous responsibility. And what they have to do is what any good leader does, is to find people, talented people, honorable people, experienced people, and form a group of people who can provide that kind of advice. And then the individual has to have the judgment to make decisions among the various views, and you hope to have a variety of views.
It almost sounds like rolling of the dice. And speaking of rolling of the dice, which is a game, let me talk about something. I'm talking about an app. Okay, you have a new app.
I do.
Okay. Did you know what an app was before you got your new app?
That's a vicious question. I don't think you should.
Do you know what app is short for?
Application?
Yeah, hey, way to go.
Yes, someone told me that before I came on your show.
What is your app?
Winston Churchill played this game of solitaire using 2 full decks. He taught a friend of mine. When I was ambassador to NATO, this friend of mine had learned it from Churchill, and he was a Belgian diplomat named André de Stark. He taught me the game, and it is a fascinating game. It's a challenging game. It's vastly more difficult than normal solitaire.
It's more than 7 cards across the top.
It's 10.
Yeah.
And it's got 6 cards up above, Devil's Row, that one on top of the other, that you have to play on the aces. You can't pull them down. And it's strategic in the sense that you really do have to think 3, 4, 5 steps ahead to see what the implications, to try to see what the implications of your actions might be.
And he apparently was playing it during the Blitzkrieg in London, and Winston Churchill was in 1940?
That's what they tell me. He liked cards as well as cigars and scotch and things like that.
And it's a free download, but at some point, I think it's $1 or something, but all the proceeds go to charity.
Yes.
100%, not just some. You hear people say some of the proceeds go to charity. All,
well,
A-L-L.
all of the profits would go to charity.
Yeah.
Generally, in my case, through my foundation to military charities and support for the troops and their families. In the case of the Churchill Foundation, it would go for things that support the legacy of Sir Winston Churchill.
The Churchill family love this?
I wrote Randolph Churchill, who was, I guess, 2 generations down from Winston. And he was very enthusiastic about it. They are interested in the legacy of the man, and they had a full understanding of André de Stark's, the Belgian diplomat's, relationship with Churchill.
Churchill, so it's fun.
Yes.
Well, I suspect when I go home, my husband will meet me at the front door, and he knows some tech, but he'll ask me, put this on my phone.
There's no doubt in my mind but that you can do it.
I know I can put it on his phone, and I'm going to put it on my phone, this new app. Anyway, Mr. Secretary, it's always nice to see you, and I look forward to playing the game as well.
Terrific. Good to see you.
Nice to see you, sir.